Are you telling me? Are you telling me that you prefer a festival that celebrates the occult, which brings so much misery to so many people?
Well,
Hello
I think we've
and
had
welcome.
a good show before the show.
Hello and welcome. What are you doing?
Can't start.
Hello and welcome to another episode of Mildly Informed with me, Richie Firth, him, Chris Skinner, and if early signs are to be believed, this could be a tricky one.
I've been home alone all week, Rich. I haven't really spoken to many people. This is something of therapy for me right now. I
should flag that I too have been home alone for the last 3 days.
Why have we not hung out?
I don't know. It's probably for the best. For those who are watching on the YouTube channel, you do look like a South American dictator.
Sí, yo estoy el presidente de Argentina, estoy mi Leo. Donald Trump es mi amigo, mi gran amigo, es un hombre muy fuerte.
So much to talk about in today's episode, and as ever, if you want to join the conversation, do in the comments on our YouTube channel. You can, of course, email us, mildlyinformedpod@gmail.com, or on our socials, at Richie Firth or at Chris Skinner. At Producer Chris, actually, at Chris Skinner's not going to get anywhere.
I mean, it might get you to someone who shares my name but isn't me, and that might be a win.
I think it probably would be.
So, Rich, before the show started, as I think the audience can tell, we've been chatting before the show started today. You said that unusually for you, actually, you wanted to do a bit of retrospective action and refer back to some stuff.
I do want to get underway with a little bit of housekeeping today. In great length in a second, an update on the Louvre heist. Which we spoke about last week. But first of all, a smaller piece of housekeeping. And I don't think it's as such an apology from me because I've got nothing to say sorry about. But I do want to recognize something that you introduced to me round about a year ago. We need to talk about L'Algonmar.
Wow. Well, this is about 6 months ago. It was an early episode of Mildly Informed. And over the summer, I presented you your first jar of it.
Yes.
And frankly, was greeted with a cool response.
There's nothing cool about the taste of L'Algonmar. And I think that is why my response was cool, because I remember being force-fed it by you and your wife as I was sat down on the floor of a Hackney Park and you were both stood over me, ramming L'Algonmar down my throat.
Beautiful picture.
Fast forward to the Great British Bake Off 2025. And I was catching up on an episode this week. And in Pastry Week, there was somebody, one of the contestants, was making some sausage rolls and they were infused with L'Algonmar. And both Paul Hollywood and Prue Leith, Dame Prue, absolutely adored the sausage rolls that were made and the taste of L'Algonmar. Interestingly, despite the fact that it's not really a brand of any form, they still felt they had to cover up part of the branding on the jar of L'Algonmar, which I thought was a shame.
Poor old grandma. I am very nervous about this, Rich, because frankly, it ain't going to be $2.89 a jar for much longer. And you know, it's going to end up if it's on Bake Off, it's going to end up in Waitrose, it's going to end up on Ocado, and it's going to be £6 a jar. And that stresses me out.
So feel informed, and we urge you to go out and buy it whilst it's at the price that it should be before it gets inflated. But that's not what we're really here to talk about. It was just important housekeeping. We need to talk about an update about the Louvre heist that we spoke about on this episode a week ago. So many things were up in the air. People didn't know what had gone on. People didn't know where any of the robbers, the burglars, however you want to refer to them, the thieves, where they were. Well, things have progressed.
They have indeed, and not all positive, in my opinion. Where do you want to start?
So here we are, a week on. There's been 7 arrests now. A week ago, there were no arrests whatsoever. 7
And a week
arrests.
ago, there was only 4 people involved.
Exactly. So, of the 7 arrests, they believe that 3 of them are actually of the crew that did the robbery. 2 of which have actually partially confessed to their involvement. Now, that means that 1 is still completely missing. Now, none of the jewels have been recovered. The 2 who have partially confessed are said to be the 2 that had the power tools that cut the disc in the window to get into the Louvre. And one of those was caught trying to catch a one-way flight to Algeria. So those are the facts as we know them, Chris. I believe as amateur sleuths, it is now down for the 2 of us on behalf of the world and the mildly informed audience to go back into those facts and to extrapolate what we can. First of all, how do you partially confess? 2 of them have said, yeah, I can see that we were involved with this. Well, if you were involved, then yeah, you did it.
All right, so Richie, can you just come with me? I need a power tools expert. You just wouldn't believe what's happened. I've kind of got my jewels trapped in a box and I just can't get them out. And I just need someone who can help me get in. As you know, I'm a big, keen climber and I don't like going through the front door. So we're going to go up through the window of my flat. And then I just need you to just help me get it out of the glass. And then maybe I'll take you for dinner after.
Are you telling me that cock and bull story could stand up in French courts?
I absolutely believe it. Absolutely am prepared to go that far, given they didn't even have security cameras on $100 million of jewellery.
Well, if that's your belief, then it kind of almost gives us an answer to my next question, which is how come there's still 1 gentleman missing if 2 people have already partially confessed? If they've caught 3 of the crew and 2 of them have partially confessed, then the one that's missing, surely the 2 that have partially confessed are then just going to leak on the other fella.
Well, I don't know what incentives there are. I don't know if the other fella has gone. I don't know if they are already halfway to Kiribati right now. Well, I don't know if they're a master of disguise.
The first place that I would be looking would be Algeria. And I'm not trying to finger Algeria, but if one of them was caught trying to catch a one-way flight to Algeria, that to me suggests that in the parlance of the great train robbery that we spoke about last week, Algeria is their farmhouse.
Yeah, it could well be. I don't know what the extradition treaties are like with Algeria these days as well. So maybe that's an option.
I would imagine that there's obviously a lot of links historically with France and Northern Africa. Yeah. So I wouldn't have thought it would be that tricky for them to. I believe Zinedine Zidane, his family hark back. Well,
he's an Algerian Berber. Yep.
Football of all time. That's by the by. I'm not saying that he was involved in the Louvre heist.
Wouldn't that be amazing? You know, I don't think he ever sold for 100 million as a player. So finally, he's a 100 million pound player in a big gig.
And then another question. All of the jewels are still missing. They caught 3 of them. 2 of them partially confessed, but none of them have said, yeah, all right, okay. Back bedroom, 3rd drawer down, fake compartment at the back. They're all in there.
Yeah. Well, as I say, I would look very suspiciously on the streets of Paris for someone who's wearing some very new-looking bling that looks nothing like what was heisted last week. Housed.
Final question on this before we move on. Prediction time. That's how far we've come in a week. Where do you think the gendarmerie will be in a week's time with the Louvre heist, which has been fascinating us?
They're never catching the guy. Never catching him. And there will be more arrests, though. There will be more arrests. They'll never get the jewels. They'll never get the guy.
So you're thinking that this is France's Ronnie Biggs?
I sincerely hope so, yeah. I mean, come on, that would be... Imagine the intrigue, the books, the documentaries, the movies for the next 30 years if this person stays on the lam. It would be fantastic.
Oh my God, I wonder whether you've just come up with a new theory. Could this whole thing be staged for the sake of the European film industry?
Well, it needs it. It needs it. Canal Plus, what's your role in this?
Go and search in Cannes. They have a film industry down there. There's wealth. That's where the jewels are. They're in Cannes.
Oh my God, that is perfect. That is absolutely perfect. That is where they are right now.
Now that we've solved the Louvre jewellery heist, Chris, what else has been on your mind this week?
Well, Rich, I think it is important that we talk about something that is now undeniable. It's Christmas.
Yeah,
it's officially Christmas.
What?
It's officially Christmas, Rich. It's officially Christmas.
It's as we record, it's the 31st of October. There's some scaring to do tonight. What makes you declare that it's Christmas now? Is it the clock change?
Well, Richie, I turned on my TV this week and I saw multiple Christmas adverts. This week I bought a Christmas present for my wife.
Wow.
And I went shopping for some chocolate to eat on my own at home, like a lonely man, and bought the Malteser chocolate reindeers, the ultimate in contemporary Christmas chocolates, and have finished the entire pack.
Now, if that is how you are declaring the metrics of Christmas, then I will have to come on board and say it is Christmas, because this week in the supermarket, I bought a tube of cheese footballs.
Okay, that seems tenuously Christmas to me. I don't really know what a cheese football is, but
You don't know what a cheese football is? They're like little wafery, puffy balls with cheese flavoured something inside. They only sell them at Christmas. Only sell them at Christmas. No, yeah. Right up there with toffee, which obviously isn't cheese related.
What's toffee?
You never had a toffee?
I mean, it sounds a little bit rude, but carry on.
Oh my God. Right. Okay. How do I describe a toffee? Imagine a beveled pot filled with...
What's beveled?
Beveled is, so you know you get like a mirror that's got little ripples around the side of it. That's beveled glass, okay?
Right.
So a beveled pot, into it you pour chocolate, so that it means that when the chocolate sets, there's going to be little ripples in it. Then in that pot of chocolate, you then put a nut, and then toffee goes on top of it, and then a bit more chocolate on top. So you end up with like half a ball of toffee, nut, and chocolate. Toffee.
Well, I've never had that before. Never heard of it at Christmas. Would love to try one.
Well, 5:30 this Sunday evening, there's going to be a knock at the door.
I look forward to it.
And I will be there dressed as a little elf, delivering you a tube of cheese footballs and a punnet of toffee.
I look forward to it. Did you see anything else Christmassy in the shop this week?
I don't feel like it's proper Christmas in the shop this week, as to be discussed very shortly, because I've got something else retail-minded on my mind, which is why I feel aware and that I can comment that I don't feel that the shops are Christmassy just yet.
Okay, they are, because I've bought a Christmas present, I've bought Christmas chocolate, and the adverts are running. Case concluded, as far as I'm concerned. You're welcome to your opinion, but you're wrong. Maybe let's focus this down, instead of disagreeing, on, because we talked about chocolate coated products last week. So let's actually focus maybe on the chocolate reindeer. A couple of points on it. It looks remarkably similar to the Malteser's chocolate bunny that comes out at Easter. And I am fairly convinced it's the same product, just with a different label. Antlers, ears, they all look the same when it's badly molded chocolate. But flavour-wise, this is an outstanding piece of chocolate. The chocolate on the outside is thick. The malty flavour in the middle is there. When you have them in the really mini form, you can easily do 6 in one evening. I can tell you, because I did that last night. And it's a really satisfying eat. You know, we talk a lot about like the brands that have broken off from the original one and the quality of that. For example, recently we were actually talking about some of the Kit Kat spin-offs. And I would argue if someone gave me 100 grams of regular Maltesers and 100 grams of the Maltesers reindeers, I'd go reindeers every time.
Chris, I agree with you. And once again, we're blowing the market open here. I know we were here to talk about whether it's Christmas or not just yet. But here is the inconvenient truth, and I know the people at Maltesers know this as well. They tried a breakaway product, the Malteser Reindeers, the Malteser Bunny, and what they discovered, it's even better than the regular Malteser. Now, that's awkward. That's really awkward for them. And that is why, for the whole year, they're flip-flopping their molds between reindeers and bunnies because they need to produce the larger bar of Malteser animal because it's better than the balls.
I agree. And I just guess that maybe you and I need to workshop for them a summer product that basically is the same shape that they can market through July and August as well. Because then the Maltesers company could become the biggest in the whole world.
So let's think about it. So you've got your bunny, which is Easter. That's your spring. Yeah. Spring's taken care of. Then you've got your reindeer, which is winter. What is an impish animal that is slender and tall that could lend itself to the Malteser company?
It's a dolphin.
A dolphin would work.
The Malteser
dolphin would work.
It's summer dolphin time.
Seahorse.
Seahorse is even better.
Yeah, it is.
The summer seahorse.
Yeah. I can't believe that we've just workshopped that quickly and we've come up with such a good idea.
Yeah. Okay. Maltesers Corporation, we want 20% of your summer seahorses. And we want a 3-year retainer deal where we can come up with other concepts to fill other parts of the year, like a Halloween one, for example, but which we're not going to reveal now. But I trust us, we've got the best idea.
We'll take the rest of that particular chat offline for business and commercial purposes, but well done. Would you like to review the fact whether it's Christmas or not, or are you reviewing Maltesers breakaway products?
Let's go for the reindeer. Christmas, there's lots more Christmas to come. It's a 3-month ceremony these days. So I'm giving the chocolate reindeer 4 stars.
Let's take a break. No doubt you're about to hear a commercial for Maltesers. Welcome back.
I enjoyed that break. I didn't hear a Malteser break myself, sadly. But I still enjoy all of those brands, and you endorse all of them, I understand.
I do. I love to eat whatever has just been advertised.
Whether it's a food product or not. Rich, what's been going on with you then this week?
Chris, we spent a bit of time already in this episode talking about matters of the calendar and as to whether it's Christmas or not. As we record today, it is Halloween. It's the 31st of October. And I find it mind-boggling as to how Halloween has become compared to what it was like when we were in our infancy. And when I look at how that compared to a festival that is only 6 days away, and that is fireworks night, Guy Fawkes night here in the United Kingdom. Now, one of those events is intrinsic in the history of our country. A gentleman trying to blow up the sitting parliament, the government of the country, the ruling seat of the House, and being foiled at the last moment, and that being recognised. Democracy that we know right now wouldn't exist and would be in a different form if Guy Fawkes had succeeded on the 5th of November all those years ago. The other of those is an American festival that has snowballed over the UK and is now bigger than the one that actually commemorates something that happened in our history. And I don't like it.
Why don't you like it?
Because we'll lose our identity.
Right. Do you ever find yourself questioning that maybe Halloween is the better ceremony of the two?
Let's question it right now. Which of these is a better ceremony? One where you are all out as a family, stood around a nice bonfire, looking at the crackling fire, watching up into the sky as everything goes, ooh, Oh, lovely, wonderful. As kids are waving sparklers around and drawing lights in the sky. Is that a nicer festival? Or the concept of greedy fat kids coming up the driveway asking for fun size Milky Ways and Mars bars. And if you don't give it to them, they'll key your car as they walk back down the driveway, having scared you with some nasty mask. And toddlers going to sleep crying because they think they're a real ghosts and ghoulies. Which of those is a nicer festival? Oh, let me think about it.
Or let's paint this another way. Do you prefer a festival that celebrates the death of the oppressed Catholics in the UK by literally burning an effigy of a representative of them on a fire in front of the public 400 years later, which includes children essentially begging with their home-built guy? Or do you prefer a festival where a family all goes out in fancy dress and walks the streets together, meeting their fellow community? Which do you prefer?
Are you telling me? Are you telling me that you prefer a festival that celebrates the occult, which brings so much misery to so many people, and you would rather that over harmlessly burning an effigy? I don't think I know you anymore.
Right. Okay. Well, look. I think the British legacy of its relationship between its Protestants and Catholics is often papered over. And I think a grown-up discussion should take place about the right role of Guy Fawkes in that. And I do not endorse the terrorism, which I think it's fair to say he was enacting. Not that it
Chris
didn't come
Skinner,
from a place where he felt oppressed. No, I'm not saying that. I am. And I know, look, both of these come from a religious place. Like Halloween, All Hallows Eve, is actually not a celebration of the occult. It is something. It is a wider. It is connected to a wider Christian festival, and actually, there are other pre-Christian festivals. There are other religious festivals that take place at the same time of year. Where actually, between Guy Fawkes and Halloween, there's a bit of overlap. You know, I love the fact that it's Diwali around this time of year, and actually,
that's a nice one. That's a nice one.
Yeah, and that's fireworks. So that's your side. You're pro Diwali, right? Yeah. That's what you're saying. But so you like those kinds of fireworks, and you like the blowing up of Catholic effigies.
Oh dear. I am going to review at this point the bun fight that is autumn festivals. I'm going to give autumn festivals a 3-star review. I think they need to get back in their lanes, and there's room for them both.
I think they should be merged.
What are you calling it?
All of them.
Hello, Fawkes.
Well, we should throw Diwali in as well.
Yes.
When, or is that just making it more complicated? Maybe we just do bonfire fright. There's a bit of both in that, you see.
Why don't we just call it? Let's go route one. Just call it fireworks time.
Fireworks time.
Yeah,
that's actually worse.
If you got any ideas as to what we call the new merged autumn festival.
Oh, that feels very much like the sort of thing that a reform candidate would moan that their local council had done. You can't even call it Guy Fawkes anymore. They call it Autumn Fest. It's an absolute disgrace.
If you've got any ideas, mildlyinformedpod@gmail.com. Chris, what else is on your mind this week?
I want to talk about Tuesday of this week, Richie.
Tuesday of this week? Just gone or coming up?
Just gone. I also fear that this might reflect on how boring a guy I've become, and we'll have to work through that. Tuesday for me, and for many people in the country, was payday. And so I want to talk about payday, and I think I do something that pretty much everyone in the country does on payday, which is they think they've got more money than they have, and they go and buy a load of random shit by lunchtime. And I realized that I had to pay a bill, and I just went online and looked at my purchases that I made in the morning on Tuesday on payday. And I spent straight away, as soon as I knew I'd been paid. Money on a cricket net. I bought myself an expensive lunch. I did a big shop. I bought some bike lights. I bought a Christmas present. And I remembered that I needed to buy my daughter a compass for a maths homework and did that all in the morning on Tuesday. Once upon a time, I might have booked a weekend away or a crate of beer. And now I'm buying bike lights and a fancy lunch. But I think up and down the country, whatever the specificity of the purchase, people get payday and they buy silly shit. And that is to be applauded.
Shall I open up my bank account and see what I bought on Tuesday morning?
Was that payday for you too?
I assume it was. Let's have a look. Okay. £10 in McDonald's.
There you go. There's the lunch.
My wife spent £30 in a store that we can talk about in a few weeks' time.
I know what that story is going to be.
You do know what that story is going to be. And I spent £5 on croissants. And I booked I booked a game of paddle as well. So
wow.
it does seem to back up your theory.
And it's weirdly similar, your set of purchases.
Yeah.
Like food treats, a sporting activity.
Yeah.
I still am quite impressed that you spent £10 in McDonald's and a £5 on croissants. Rich, that was a carb day.
That's why I then had to book a sporting activity.
Yeah. So everyone now, I urge you, have a quick think about what you did on payday. You probably live a much more interesting life than Richie or I. You know, you might have bought, like, I don't know, what's more interesting than that? Glue guns, shoes, weekends away. But you all did it on payday. And there's no real logic for that. You could just buy normal stuff on payday and do it 2 weeks later. There's something about that cash burning a hole in your pocket, burning a hole in your brain. That's like you need to purge from your system and get it out there. And I give that 2 stars. What the fuck is wrong with us? What is wrong with us? Surely we should be better than this.
I tell you why. I tell you what happens, because you've just identified that this is the case. Big business knows this as well. Big business knows when we get paid. So big business will be ramping up their campaigns ahead of payday. Big business will be saying, hey, look at this new sandwich we've got at McDonald's. Big business will be saying, hey, look at these lovely glazed croissants. That's the kind of thing that's going on, all right? So that's why we end up dropping stuff, because we don't see these subliminal messages of the big businesses telling us to go and buy shit.
Yeah. So it's a difficult thing. Like there is the excitement of the purchase. Don't get me wrong. I did my cricket net and I really enjoyed it. I ate my fancy banh mi for lunch and really enjoyed it. And I think Laura will enjoy the gift that I have bought for her.
Are they new headphones after you nicked her old ones from last week?
Rich, get this, update. I had no headphones for 4 days. And then I went through my locker at work where I keep some spare trousers. And I needed the spare trousers that day. And I put the trousers on. I went, what's this in my pocket? I shit myself again. My headphones were in there. And the worst thing about that is that's exactly the same place I'd lost them 2 weeks earlier. What an idiot.
Oh, dear. Which is why you could be a South American dictator. I feel like this is not, I don't wish to tar all South American dictators with lack of organisation, but I just see it.
Thank you. Thank you. And I am available, like I'm learning Spanish. So any like guerrilla fighters in South America who need someone who can come and join and help the cause, particularly represent anti-Guy Fawkes sentiments, then I'm your man. You
would be, with your fitness, with your triathlons and stuff that you love doing, you would be a fantastic leader of a guerrilla organisation.
Wow. No one has ever said that to me, and it feels pretty good.
No, I genuinely mean that. I genuinely mean that. Your command of the Spanish language,
right?
Your physical ability, and your slight unhingedness.
Right. Yeah, I mean, I would like, there would be serious discipline. Betray me once, you're down, no second chance.
We've got a communal friend. We've got a close. We've got a friendship of three.
Yeah.
Let's be honest,
Our
we're not
only
very
friends.
popular. But if he came to me one day and sent a message that said, "Oh my God, have you heard about Chris? He's gone mad. He is running a guerrilla organization in Bolivia right now," I would believe him.
I'm up for it. I mean, I love Central and South American food as well. I think I'd settle in just nice. It kind of like, I wonder though, if more realistically, a goal for me is just to lead my gorillas into Epping Forest as a rehearsal for that.
I tell you what I'm going to do, and I'm going to. This is a little tease for next week's episode. I'm going to drop a WhatsApp to our friend, our shared friend, telling him that you have gone rogue.
Yep.
Laura's in tears. The kids haven't seen you for a week, and you are running a guerrilla organization in South America. And I will share with the audience next week what his reply is, and it will say everything about you.
Okay. I'm looking forward to his response. I mean, you're assuming he won't say, knowing him, I'm joining him.
And that may well be. And then that reflects on me. But there we go.
Yeah. How dare you not form a guerrilla organisation in the middle of the rainforest? Do we have to have another ad break? I think we do, don't we?
Yeah, the Malteser Corporation want more.
Yeah, okay, here we go.
Get your seahorses soon. Chris, we need
Richie.
to talk about headlights.
Oh, no, we don't.
Yes, we do.
No.
Did you know that the regulations for UK car headlights have not been updated?
Oh, hang on, you said headlights.
Yeah.
I thought you said headlights. This is much better. Carry on.
The regulations for UK car headlights have not been updated since 1989.
Okay. I mean, has there been anything radically different to the light game between now and 89 that would mean that needed to change?
Yes. Yes, there has been. There is currently a new Department for Transport investigation that has been launched within the last week into UK headlights. And it has been discovered as a result of this that regulations on headlights in the UK have not been changed since 1989. But since that, as a result, the size of cars has changed. The weight of cars has changed. The height of cars have changed. And one of the biggest things that have changed is the type of headlights. Back in the day, you would go into Halfords and you might get just some traditional halogen bulb, and in it fits in the front of your car. Nowadays, as I'm sure everyone realizes, car headlights are all LED. They are brighter. They are whiter. Sometimes you get them like in fancy lines and all this kind of stuff. And as a result, because they are now on heavier cars, they're on bigger cars, they're on higher cars, people are driving around on UK roads and they cannot see at night, which is the direct opposite of what brighter lights should be giving as a benefit. We should all be able to see better at night and be safer at night, but actually what is happening is people are being blinded at light. I read a story about a Southampton choir that is on the verge of splitting and not being able to have choir practice anymore because the ladies don't like driving at night because they're getting blinded by all these LED light bulbs.
I mean, that sounds sad. I still have to say, though, I'm struggling to focus on what you're saying because I'm still thinking of headlights. And that's a problem. So I do get the whole headlights thing. Like, as a cyclist, at this time, in the last couple of weeks, particularly with the clocks changing, everyone has their lights on now. And it is definitely worse, I feel. And even some bike lights are now super bright, and I struggle to focused when I've got them coming towards me.
This is the thing. Think back to the bike lights that we would have had when we cycled to school back in the day when we were doing our GCSEs.
Big old lantern style, yeah.
Big old lantern style. Now, your bike lights, the size of a snooker chalk cue, and they're charged up by a USB, and they could replace the lighthouse down at the Needles on the Isle of Wight. They're so bright. And that has been, you recognize that with cycling, but that's been happening in cars as well. And none of these regulations have been changed since 1989, and everyone is getting blinded. The RAC have actually had to issue some things saying that if need be, just look at the gutter, because that will give you the line of the road. This is ridiculous.
Yeah, that's
it feels like some kind of surreal episode of a satirical comedy, but that's where we're at with headlights.
So we're going to have some restriction now, which says like be less bright.
I think we'll probably end up being like the French. If you'll know if you drive in the continent that you have to have your headlights adjusted. When we were kids, you'd go over there and actually, like, French headlights were a little bit more yellow compared to UK headlights. The French have been ahead of the game on headlight safety for decades.
If only they'd had a few lights on their priceless jewellery. People might have seen what was going on.
Absolutely. So I am going to review headlights, specifically UK headlights. 5 for their brightness, but 2 for their safety.
Okay. I don't disagree with that. And I guess we just need to get rid of all cars. Tell me, do aeroplanes have headlights?
Yes, they do.
And are they on whilst they're in the air?
What they have on when they're in the air are like just lights to not for them to see where they're going, because obviously they're in dark skies, but they have lights to be able to sort of flash and warn that other planes are around. And then they do have lights that come on landing and takeoff that kind of just point straight down the runway, and they are incredibly bright. Good.
Thank you for wrapping that one up for me. Needed to know.
This is why this podcast is called Mildly Informed, because you don't know what you're going to be informed about. It's only in a mild fashion. And when you came to the beginning of this episode, you wouldn't have known that you would have known about the last time that UK headlight regulations were updated.
Yeah, I think was it 1989?
Shows you've been listening.
Yes. I've got nothing else to say.
I know you haven't, and what a high for us to end on today. If you'd like to join for extra stuff, become a Patreon. Mildly Informed Pod at patreon.com. That's where you can go and find us. Peace out. We'll be there.